it is the match that we know oLe has been waiting for. Furia are playing this time against Team One. I know you're a massive fan. I have to go on about it every time. Team One versus Furia. Team One obviously coming off of that huge win at the Mexico Major. Furia ready to start the stage up strong. Let's take a quick look at this video, introducing the two teams and giving you a little bit of background onto the story so far.
Young Team Furia has a lot to celebrate as the team continues to grow and develop, but today is a true test as they come head-to-head against the recent major champions, Team One.
Desde a formação dessa line, acho que a Furia evoluiu bastante, né? Tanto é que a gente tá top 5 atualmente do Brasileirão. A gente já participou do INVI. Eu acho que a gente tá muito bem e a gente continua evoluindo ainda.
There are many similarities between the two teams. Both teams feature a young roster of hot new talents, and both have shown experience in international competition, but have struggled more so on a home field. The teams may be friends, but friendships will have to be left off the server in this bloody affair. The last time these teams faced off, it was Team One that took the victory, and Furia will know that they need to dig deep to overcome Team One.
Jogar contra a Fúria é sempre legal, porque a gente é muito amigo dos caras e é sempre uma disputa, tipo, uma competição. Estou ansioso para jogar contra eles hoje e espero que seja jogão como sempre.
Team One will need to count on Alamo like they usually do if they want to take the win here. But as was shown in Mexico, their cast of characters is strong on an individual level, and the rest of the team has shown that they can compete against anyone when things get serious. One of these people is Rare.
Então, o nosso último jogo contra a Team One, eu acredito que a gente conseguiu surpreender eles com a nossa map pool, a gente conseguiu jogar um mapa em que a gente estava se preparando, eu acredito, de forma melhor. Só que eles tiveram o fator alemão, que acabou levando a partida para o lado deles de forma absurda.
Two teams very close in the table will face off in an extremely decisive match.
Eu acho que o Harry se destaca bastante. Pela função dele, tipo, ele mata bastante também, que ele é suporte, mas ele sempre tá ali, ele sempre consegue matar bastante e acho que ele é um jogador em destaque.
Com certeza, o jogador da Team One que a gente tem que ficar de olho é o alemão. Ele tem a capacidade de conseguir levar a partida toda pro lado dele.
Will Team One once again make Furia's life more difficult? Or will they suffer a post-major blunder as they fall in the first week? It's time for answers as Team One takes on Furia.
Well, there it is, our major champions in the form of Team One, now up against Furia. oLe, what are you thinking about this one? Where do you think we're going to end up, first of all?
Well, neither of these teams have made any changes, so there isn't, anything like that to consider. We can expect, a good old-fashioned match between Furia and Team One as we are used to. I don't think that we're going to be going anywhere too drastically exciting. Team One probably looking, honestly, for a bit of a confidence boost after yesterday. They didn't have the easiest time of things against W7M. We played that one out on Villa, so maybe they're going to look for something that's a little bit more run-of-the-mill, something that they can control a little bit better, because the strategic side of the game was really somewhere that Team One struggled yesterday.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they were going with more of a frag-heavy playstyle. Do you think that's a map idea that we could get here, Demo? Do you think that them knowing that, look, we were a bit too frag-heavy yesterday, let's maybe go for a map that leans into that playstyle? Do you think that could maybe be our result after that?
I don't know, I think Team One, they have a very good map pool. I think they have a great bit of depth in terms of what they can play. In terms of the matchup as itself, Chunks, both of these teams, I would say, have very similar beginnings, whereas they're both very young rosters, both very new, coming into last year. So there are some big comparisons to make. I would say, though, that Team One, they've had a much quicker development time. I think that was, clear to see as they won the major. By no means are we saying that Furia, they had no chance at the major. I mean, Furia put up a great fight against BDS, but then again, that's BDS. That's one of the most consistent sides that you will ever come across in this game. But I think Furia, they're only, I'd say, maybe 2 steps behind Team 1 at this stage. I think very, very close to doing the exact same thing that Team 1 do. I know me and Ollie, we've had this conversation before, is that Furia, their goals is to win Invitational. They have this whole system set up where one day they will reach that massive, massive high.
Yes, I think that that's certainly a clear goal for them, as Team 1 going to be taking out Clubhouse, Furia, get rid of Oregon. What do you think about this one so far, Ollie?
Well, in the first 2 bans, we lose some of the more strategic maps in Clubhouse and Oregon Cafe coming through as a ban. Not really too much of a surprise there. It takes a while for Furia to ban Chalet, but it's a pretty obvious choice. Chalet is Team 1's best map by a country mile. Bank being removed by Team 1 again, as Furia, they decide whether we get to see a Villa or Coastline, and those guys are happy to throw down on Coast, and honestly, I am not surprised. Coastline is a good map for Furia. They nearly beat Team Liquid here last stage. It went to maximum overtime. At the major, they were able to take down Space Station on this map. So they're a very accomplished team on Coastline. Team 1 as well, you know, they're not going to shy away from a Coastline either. They've played it a little bit more, and certainly quite a bit at the most recent major, taking down Empire and BDS there. So a map that both teams have got a very clear understanding of how they want to play, and a clear track record of how they've performed previously. And I guess this is maybe why this has been billed as the match to watch today here in Brazil.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. If we're looking at the track record demo, we should probably point out that Furia last stage didn't have the best one. They're currently one of those middle-of-the-pack teams, but they definitely looked like they could start picking things up. I guess we'll find out, because the game is getting underway. Don't go anywhere. Ollie, demo, take it away.
Thank you very much, Chunks. We are going to be wasting no time hopping into this one. Game 3 of the night. We have got a little bit of a treat. Team 1 versus Furia. Already fantasy in the old chat. I don't know what these guys are saying, but I'm seeing love hearts, and I think it's all good to go as the bans do now start to roll in. Lion is going to be removed here by Furia. Team 1 just take a little bit more time to come to the inevitable conclusion that is a Thatcher ban.
Yeah, no surprise with the bans. Same bans that we already seen earlier on tonight, Ollie. Never we seen Inscop against MIBR. So a bit of a running theme. Coastline, great map for both teams. Very, very excited to see this one fly on through. A good comparison that we can make between both of them on this map, Ollie, is both of them played BDS at the major on this map. Team 1 beat BDS 7-5. Furia lost 8-7. Does that tell us anything? Surely, if Team 1 beat BDS on Coastline and BDS beat Furia, does that mean Team 1's going to win?
If only it was so simple.
Oh, my mistake. I thought it was that simple.
If only it was so simple. It's a good benchmark, and it's a good sort of place to start the comparison, but we'll have to see how these two teams face off on the night. As we know, Team 1 didn't have the greatest of games yesterday. They were able to get it over the line, but they were pushed in every way possible. We're going to start off on the attack here and now. Fury are going to be picking up that defensive side. The defender bans to round out that first phase, Mute and a Jaeger. Not very often at all we get to see a Jaeger ban. It does leave a couple of other things open and free.
Okay, here we go. Jumping in straight away to look where it is, Ollie. Gonna call this one.
It's the most popular site in Brazil.
Yep, don't know what it is. We need to see how other regions need to adapt this as well. We definitely need to see. It just seems as if LATAM, they just love this. They love this bomb site. And the success rate doesn't back it up to be a worthy pick. That's the thing about it. It doesn't get backed up.
We need to go through and cherry pick every Coastline game that's been played across every region and find out how many times this site has been. Get the stats and get the numbers, because it's almost comical at this point for Furia to bring it out. And I mean, even Bodega said in the interview when we were chatting to him after MIBR's success earlier on, we were saying, you know, why do you like Penals and Theatre so much? He's like, well, in scrims, you know, and in our boot camp, that was the best map for us. That was the best site for us. You know, we were really good at that site. But on the server this weekend, it really hasn't been the case for any of the teams. Maybe Furia are going to show us something a little bit different here, as they have opted to go upstairs into Penthouse and Theatre for their first round.
Okay. See how Furia want to try and deal with Team 1 and a very aggressive lineup. I mean, not a single hard breach in sight, but a lot of operators who are very, very good at killing others. Alamau straight in, taking no time at all to move in towards Sunrise and establish a position below. I'd imagine nades from below is going to be a go-to for Team 1. Looking at their lineup, I mean, they have 6 nades, Ollie. That's a... You didn't know, Ollie, that's a lot.
It's a lot of damage. A lot of damage that can be caused by those 6 nades. Neskin, he has a ping as well to assist him. And he maybe could go for a little bit of aggression there, just waiting for Levy to push on through as a drone is working on ahead. Lender is increasingly being pinched. He does have a little bit of assistance not too far away. Team 1 are spending all the time that they can to try and gather this information. Vertical angles being held from above. Lagonis could lose the Flores drone there on that vertical angle, but will manage to sneak it past. That will now be able to move through and act onto its intended purpose, which it sounded like was chunking Miracle down, because he is the next player to fall. Alamau going to back it up with a kill, as well as Lender eventually takes him on down. Advantage then early for Team 1. But still, they need that positional advantage. They need to be able to get themselves in here.
He still has that deployable shield that he can try and play with. The 190 is going to go as well, but KDS has a nade. And will it connect? Nope, it will miss, unfortunately, for KDS. That shield's still going to be up, and that will cause so many issues, because KDS knows he cannot move in until this shield is gone. He will go for the Gon 6, and that will eliminate the shield. Heis gets pressured, but he meets Levy head on and wins that engagement, reloads the MP5 SD. Fantasy swings in, eliminates Neskin, and Fantasy with another KDS in the clutch position, but he has no time to do it, and Heis will get the final kill. Furia, 1-0. There you go, the first round on the bomb site that usually has not been working for the defense.
Very few times have we seen that site work out for defending teams here this weekend, but Furia make it happen there. Happy to lie in those power positions and just let Team 1 push in around them. Team 1 never getting that sure foothold into the map, and it really did hurt them. Again, time coming into play. If anyone follows Twister, who is the coach for Furia on Twitter, he has been posting quite avidly over the last sort of 24, 48 hours about how much this fixture means, and I think that there's a good little friendly rivalry going on. It certainly looks like these guys are up for the fight, as we're seeing, you know, a little bit of explosion there inside of round number 1. Fancy coming in with a couple of kills, Heis as well, and big contributions already. Team 1 just not finding that success. Now Furia can switch things up. They can get themselves over into hookah and billiards. And for all that we've spoken about that site not working, Demo, I actually like the fact that Penthouse and Theatre has worked out there for Furia, because there's a chance that we're not going to see such a heavily attacker-sided Coastline.
Yeah, I mean, Coastline is definitely like the kind of bomb site that breaks really what everything Siege stands for, and that is, you know, defense have the easier time, attacks are supposed to be the most challenging thing, whereas in reality, Coastline on attacks, Ollie, pretty simple, isn't it? It's a lot of sitting, holding an angle, tossing a couple of nades, and making people move. That's what it's all about. Coastline's a very claustrophobic map for defenders. There isn't a lot of safe positions that you can really find your way into. That isn't gonna be that isn't going to be susceptible to a nade or somebody going below and opening up below you. There are a lot of things in Coastline that just... It means that you're never going to be able to sit nice and easy. There's like a few areas, but that's it.
Yeah, the pockets of safety are certainly few, and that's always a good thing for the attackers. They can get in there, but it makes those powerful positions even more powerful, and if you don't root those players out, if you're not able to get in, then you can really come up short. I'm not sure how those 2 opening kills have gone kind of so quickly in favor there of Team 1, but Miracle as well is going to be the next to fall. This could be a flawless round. Look at Alamau go, picks himself up 4, just walks on through on the Nook. 1 magazine is all that is required. Hits himself with the nice shot.
Oh my word, why has he done that? Only him, only he would say nice shot and then say thank you to himself. I just... He is a character. He is a character. And it is great that we have a character like that. It is great. I mean, I think everyone just fell in love with this guy during the Mexico Major, you know. How can you stay away from those pink shorts, Ollie?
Pink shorts, flip-flops,
How?
name a more iconic duo.
A little dance. Unbelievable.
It's a round that shouldn't go that quickly toward Team 1. You know, a couple of opening kills, sure, that's fine. But then, just crouch walking up main stairs, like 3 kills. He wasn't even I mean... Yeah.
How do you think STK got so good?
I mean, STK is just... I mean, Alamau's watched STK play. That's obviously what's happened. Alamau watched the FaZe and Santos game yesterday, figured it out, and was like, look, that's what
Come on now, Alamau's been crouch walking up the stairs since the beginning of the year, Ollie. Come on now, we know what he's like, we know what he can do. Look at yesterday's game, Ollie. First round, the guy was in the bomb site by, what, 2 minutes 20? Like, this is what he's like.
Yeah, certainly the Alamau effect, and a quick round like that does a lot to shift the momentum, and Furia are almost left reeling after that one, thinking, what the heck has just happened? We can't let that happen again. And it's likely not going to. Alamau this time is going to be playing onto the book, and we're probably going to see a much more considered approach here from Team 1, other than just walk in, get kills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Alamau, oh, fair. The guy does have a lot of pressure. I mean, people have, like, said he's supposed to be the successor to Penguin. Like, what a title to take on. You're supposed to be the successor of the greatest player ever touched this game. Like, you know he's good if he's getting that kind of praise. I know he is good friends with Penguin. You know, I do know there is a close little bond there. So, we'll see if he can continue on and... Oh, Levy. He's not working today, apparently. That's his day off. He's letting pass.
I think KDS has saved him, finding him out on the drone, so at least they know roughly where the player is, but it was a little bit of a leaky flank watch there from Levy. Now, there's always the case of if you're not going to hit the shot, then don't give yourself away, but you'd have thought that he'd have had a pop at that one just to at least put a few points of damage in. As it stands, everybody is still alive and well, as Lender just gets drawn there on 90 and will start to challenge on in through VIP. But a bit of a crossfire is being developed here. Fantasy, he's going to hit first blood as he takes down Neskin. Wagonis worried now about being peeked outside, and he will be peeked as Fantasy hits him there with the nice little 1D. Another kill coming in onto Alamau, and for all the pressure and all the excitement of round number 2, this round has fallen very flat, and Furia have been prepared at every turn for what Team 1 have brought to the table.
Yeah, Furia looking incredible in this round. Set ready for everything that Team 1 have tried to throw at them. Levy, let's get an exit kill. A minute to find 4 more of them, and... Oh, Fantasy gets himself away too easily. Just peeks back and forth with the pistol. Still hunting for that kill. Eventually will back off, and Levy still knows that he's close to him, and this is going to be a bit of a battle, and Levy will win that one again. 3 more to find. 40 seconds. Is it possible? Still in the realms of unlikely, and Highs make sure it's impossible with that long angle. A great shot from the Wamai. Furia, you won.
I didn't even see him on Highs' screen then. That was a cracking shot. There was the Z ping that came through and then a flash of colour. but there wasn't all too much for him to be going off there. Levy eventually being shut down around the, honestly, could have and not maybe should have, but certainly could have been a flawless for Furia. Being dragged out a little bit there as Levy did have a chance at making something happen there, but it would have been a very tall order indeed. Now, is this the trend that we're going to see? Before we get into that 6-pick phase, we're going to get to see Levy's valiant attempt there. We get a nice little zoom in. Honestly, I don't see anything. I mean, if the Z-ping comes up and that'd be enough to distract me, I'd be saying, what are you Z-pinging for? Just call it out. But not a lot of pixels change colour there for that final kill to come through. Something that happened just before we got into the replay was the 6-pick. Is this theme going to continue, Demo? Alamau, he's gone Buck, he's gone Nook. He's gone Buck, he's gone Nook. And he's back onto Nook.
There's a lot of Bucks and Nooks down there. And to answer the question, yes, it seems to be a bit of a trend for him. Maybe it's a case of if they lose a round, they need to try and play like really sneaky. Maybe they're just looking to try and get anything they can. I mean, at this stage, Alamau, I think he knows he can make something happen. He is a big playmaker. You know, we see plenty of times where he just appears out of nowhere, lands triple kills for fun. That's the kind of player we're dealing with. One player who really stole the show for me at Mexico was KDS. I thought he had a phenomenal time at that event. And definitely another player who can hold his own, if not equal, to Alamau. You know, Alamau, sure, maybe there is the quote-unquote star player. But, I mean, Alamau wasn't even MVP of too many of their games at Mexico.
No, he wasn't.
A lot of his teammates was actually the MVP more than him.
The talent on the roster runs very deep indeed, and it is by no means limited to Alamau and Alamau alone. I think he's maybe one of the more vocal and public characters on the roster, but
it's like Team 1 have had that. It's the same storyline that I know that we used to have a BDS. Whereas like one guy, it's only Shaiko, it's just one guy, story, but in reality, look at that BDS side, like, my god.
Now, I think there's certainly comparisons to be drawn there, especially when you look at the contribution that players like Levy and KDS have. But inside of this round, at least, it's going to be Alamau leading the charge, getting that early pick-off onto Fantasy. Those two really going toe-to-toe with each other so far this game. Fantasy died every round so far, but has managed to pick himself up 5 kills, and is the only one that's even close to Alamau's current 6. And there's a chance for Alamau to make it a couple more here as he's able to activate the cloak and creep on down, head toward those cool vibe stairs.
Landa has a C4 in hand. Go for a yellow ping. I'm sure there's going to be information fed through. I'm sure probably Fantasy, being dead, will probably hop on a Valkyrie camera and try and get his team a free C4 kill. Free Sunrise control for Furia still. But that vertical game will be opened up by Team 1. That's exactly where they want to have Furia. They want to have them panicking around the bomb site, not give them any positions where they can sit and think they're safe. Nades, of course, will also roll in. Miracle will eventually get pushed out. The Smoke is the ideal player you want to try and eliminate. He's the player that you cannot allow to have a fun time on that Sunrise bar. Because we see what Smokes can do, Ollie. One Toxic Babe can shut down that Sona immediately.
Especially with only 30 seconds left, those Toxic Babe canisters become very valuable indeed. Miracle, he's got one left in pocket, but he's not going to need it for the time being as he takes down Lagonis with the SMG. Alamau gets away with murder there on the blue window as he's able to take down Lender and push on through. Takes a bit of damage there from the friendly nade. Miracle, you've got to try and hold on here, but Levy is there with the swing. A shotgun to trade, but Neskin to pick the pieces up. Team 1 there, able to execute and find all the kills required.
It's a great round. Very, very, very solid from Team 1. I mean, I'd say that's pinnacle of what you expect to see on an attack of Sunrise and Blue Bar. That's bread and butter. That's nothing new there. They just played it to the best of its ability. Furia just kind of getting caught out. I think the opening pick really hindered them. Alamau being able to sneak in towards Hall of Fame and then hitting a mad long angle straight in towards Billards was a great shot. So, yeah, just Team 1 were able to kind of catch them by surprise, take what they needed, and then quickly rotate to do their main push.
It was good to see from Team 1 as well, because up until this point, we've seen them win a rush round, and then all the other rounds they've kind of fallen a little bit flat, so it was nice to see them have a really checklist approach to an attack. Worked out very well for them indeed. I think the opening was massive. Being able to remove Fantasy, remove that threat of a lurk / a roam game coming out, and really command a lot of that control nice and early on, then have the ability to pivot and make that rotation. Really worked out very well for them. Furia back into Penthouse and Theatre. Now, they were successful here previously. It relied very heavily on highs, holding on inside of VIP, and more specifically that library corner of VIP where the bookcases are. He was very prevalent in that area. To see if he chooses to play himself there again. This time going to be rocking on the Valkyrie as opposed to the Echo, so still that information there and available. The early game already seeing a bit of pressure downstairs inside a kitchen. Rare might have been misdrawn. Nope, tell a lie. KDS is not going to make that mistake. He knows exactly where he is, but oh, the glimpse! A very narrow chance, but a chance nonetheless.
Oh, and the wall bangs also starting to come in. Both of them deal just a little bit of damage to each other. On the flip side though, Ollie, C1, he got another opening kill. Levy with the LMG has found Landa. Goyo gone. That's a big old C4 gone also. Still have 2 more in the back pocket, of course, but you would like to have another one. Send Team 1 packing as they try and move in towards the Penthouse's theater, but in the meantime, they're going to stay stable and hold on to that VIP. This has, of course, been this main room. This has been the talk of the town, Ollie. That VIP, it's been changed. The massive change, Ollie, was it just has 2 reinforced walls. That's it. That's the only change. Not much else to it. Maybe just a little bit of change towards the bookshelf as well, but other than that, it's just a reinforced wall, and 9 times out of 10, that is usually dealt with quite easily. Whenever you're bringing an operator like Maverick, reinforced walls with high charges on it mean absolutely nothing. Levy walks in, gives Rare a very easy kill. I don't know if that was, maybe he knew somebody was in luggage but was expecting to be swung from the window. I'm not sure, but either way, it's a kill for Furia. Lagones can open up this reinforced wall.
Lasergate has been burnt on the double window, so for the time being it is inactive. Means KDS can now start to throw some nades on in. And he lands one. Hits over onto Fancy. I wasn't sure if that was destined for utility or a player, but the kill feed lighting up there tells us that, well, it was always intended for Fantasy, as he's going to fall, and with it, the Toxic Babe canisters. That's a lot of potential to cut off this push as it comes through. Another player getting ready on that window is going to be Alamau, but he instead makes his way all the way to the top. Rare, where have you just gotten that kill from? How has that happened? Sits KDS down in the dirt, as he's going to be able to get shut down. The Aruni Gate now can be reactivated, and that's going to be another puzzle here for Team 1 to solve. The C4 in hand as Alamau thinks about hopping on through. He's at least going to be able to throw his utility. The C4 is a little bit premature though, but Miracle lands one onto Neskin Lagonis. He's in the plant spot, but he's now on his own. The Valkyrie camera spots him out. Alamau next to fall. 8 seconds left, and a 2 versus 1 for him to try and deal with. Lagonis has to try and go for the kills here. He's ducking his dive, and he's trying to get the peak. He picks one up onto highs, and he can now start to get this plant down. Miracle, you need to be very quick indeed. The plant location is not ideal, and it's an easy picking for Miracle to find that final kill.
Yeah, easy picking indeed. Lagones did well to kill that Valkyrie, but doesn't have the time to get into a better plant position, and very, very simple. Pick up the pieces and fit them in nicely. So Furia, again, just very back and forth so far today, Ollie, between Team 1 and Furia. Some great shots being hit, it has to be said. Really by both sides. I think both sides are really showing the gun skill that both of them have. Again, very young rosters, of course. And Alamau back in the Nook, I can see again. So that theme is definitely recurring time after time. Nade usage also has been quite a big thing we've seen today, Ollie. A lot of nades in Coastline.
Yeah, nades is something that Team 1 are really leaning into here as well. You think about KDS able to take down Fantasy. It was such an important pick at the time, and I thought that it'd have a bit more of a bigger impact on the round as a whole than what it did. You would have thought that would be a big swing for Team 1, but Furia seemingly unfazed by the loss and is still able to battle on through. But last round as the side sit, Team 1 trailing by 1. They have an opportunity here to level it up. Equally, Furia could take this as a defender-sided Coastline, which is... I'm going to call it now. I think it's going to become more of a reoccurring theme. Team 1 haven't played particularly badly here. They've just not been able to execute and win out those important engagements, and it is not a direct indication of anything wrong. I mean, that isn't great as how he goes for the nade. He's going to take a lot of damage, but he returns it as Rare wasn't able to land his shots. Both players getting away with it there.
Yeah, very fortunate that seeing both of them still alive at that stage. Rare in the great position just to simply kill Alamau, and Alamau having a cook nade that could have been tossed at his head at any moment. Neskin, though, will find that opening kill onto Fantasy. He goes in from delivery by himself, and it works out. He catches Fantasy by surprise, and they still know that Goyo is going to be somewhere. They're not entirely sure where, but they know it is downstairs. Matter of time, I feel, before Furia do lose this. Goyo will be droned out, and now they know exactly where he is, in towards lobby. He'll be stationed. Could have went back upstairs, Ollie. Could have went back upstairs to the bomb site. Instead, decides to rotate in towards security. So still being a menace, still being a threat. With that C4, can stop a plant if needed.
Neskin just looking to get himself up an assist as Alamau is going to be on the upside down rappel. Not as much aggression inside of this round. Previously, when we saw the site, it was where Alamau just waltzed on through and picked up 4 kills. That hasn't been the case just yet. Well, Fantasy falling his first blood again is not a great trend to continue, and Rare gets caught out. Lagonis, patience paying off. A narrow head glitch being held, and not a lot that we're going to see Rare be able to do about that one. Highs, for all intents and purposes, in Narnia at this moment in time as well, really leaving his team light. He does have the C4 below, which could be big, but there's a question as to whether it is even going to come to that, especially with the time that is remaining and the pressure that is almost certainly going to start to mount. Highs gets an important kill over onto Levy. Shuts down the Zephyr. Miracle still playing in drinks. Upside down rappel will be shut down as Highs takes him on out. He will be able to dodge the nade here and can go for the peak. Plays it beautifully. Can he land his shots? The answer's no. KDS, he's able to hit his. Outplays Neskin on the drive by Miracle. The last remaining hope. He's got a few seconds more to hold on for. Lagonis, he has the diffuser, and he's going to try and push on through. Miracle's already found one. The Banshee gives the game away. Miracle finds it. Can he keep alive? No. KDS, 2 huge kills inside of the round is going to be enough to level things up here for Team 1.
Team 1, back and forth it goes. All squared up. 3 rounds apiece. Highs did so well, Ollie, but then kind of so bad at the same time. It's strange. Like, that should have been an easy kill onto the Iana, but he just misses his shots. That was a game changer of a kill for KDS to eliminate that Melusi, and it certainly would have been a different round if Melusi had gotten the upper hand in that engagement. Shame. Bit of a shame.
You gotta feel sorry for Highs. He had the chance there to... I mean, a lot of people had the chance to win the round for whichever team. But you just think Highs, he played that so well. He was able to dodge out onto the nade, and KDS had no idea where he was behind that blue bar. And Highs pops up, and he just misses his shots. It's a really unfortunate thing, but that would have relieved so much of the pressure that was otherwise on upstairs onto Miracle when he was trying to clutch out there in that 1 versus 3. Miracle did a great job of bringing it back to the 1v1, but a really difficult round there, and both teams fighting tooth and nail for it. An equal split, 3-3. We enter this next phase on a level pegging. Furia are going to be on the attack this time. Going for a slightly different lineup, going for a bit of a different approach. Instead of the Maverick, they're opting for the Hibana. And they're going to be bringing the Flores as well.
Yeah, Flores, very interesting operator. It is, I believe, an operator that whenever I think Team 1 played against BDS, is actually one that they banned out against BDS. So it's certainly an operator that are kind of on the radars of Team 1. So they're not afraid to kind of ban it out and say, yes, it will cause issues, but this time around they have opted to leave it in. Could be a big game changer. Obviously, a lot of utility being brought by Team 1. Have the deployable shields there. Also, with Mute being banned out, it makes a lot of sense to bring the Flores. That's one less hard counter for that operator. Alamau on the Valkyrie. That's going to be scary. If he can get some nice Valkyrie cameras for himself, we could see some pretty dangerous runouts, definitely. Levy just gets caught by surprise. I think he went hunting for the Flores drone and will be eliminated by Highs on the repel.
Early advantage here then for Furia. Drone work is going on here inside of Hookah. High's going to be holding on to the window as Rare causes a bit of a distraction. And well, Fantasy, he's there to take advantage. He shuts Neskin down. A C4 is going to fly on through, but it won't deal any damage. KDS is now going to be without one for the duration. Alamau getting tempted to rip his as well, as you just hear it off in the distance, but for the time being thinks better of it. Upstairs control now gained, and the vertical can start to be worked on. Rare, he's able to take down KDS as he catches him out there outside of Sauna. Alamau and Lagonis now left in the 2 versus 5. And there is so much time for Furia to work with here. Fantasy, he's next up. He's looking to push on through. He can move his way all the way into Blue Bar pretty much for free, provided that Lagonis isn't there to deter. And, well, those Toxic Babe canisters will start to go off. Alamau is forced out of position, and now with his location being known, the nades can start to fly on it in. The site being such a pressurizing place to be means that Lagonis and Alamau are forced on out, and they can no longer stay in there for free. There is just too much going on, too many angles being held. Well, this is looking like it could be a flawless Lagonis. He's got so much work to do, gets caught out in the crossfire. Furia, they have got up to top speed there in that round.
Yeah, Furia. Again, both teams being able to just demolish both of those bomb sites very easily. Sunrise and Blue Bar, just, yeah, no hope at all. Both of them playing it to the best of their abilities and very, very convincing in both of the attacks. So Furia, 1-0 up on their attacks now. Team 1, they have to try and keep it equal. That is what the game has been, Ollie. Very back and forth. I don't think there's been a single 2-point gap. It has always been one or none in terms of gaps. So is that going to change? Is this where Furia maybe just sticks it into 6th gear and away they go?
Furia looked unstoppable there in that round. Everything that they were doing was so well considered. They had the time and space getting those opening picks. But from there on in, Team 1, they just didn't look like they had anywhere to comfortably be. They were in a big man disadvantage, which is never ideal. But still, Furia just looked like they were playing with the food and almost deciding when they wanted the round to end based on them being in the right position at the right time. And we're certainly going to have to come up with something pretty spectacular here. They're only trailing by 1 round, but that was the first round of attack for Furia, and the way that they came out there, they just showed us that little bit of a killer instinct that was maybe occasionally lacking on the side of Team 1. Is this the round of rotation holes demo? Tachanka's been fairly busy.
Yeah, Tachanka, great at site setup. The destructibility you get is great, but anything other than that, not the best. The gun is just not good at all for winning engagements. We very rarely see any value from the Molotovs. So yeah, it's definitely not the easiest pick to play, but who knows if Lagonis knows something we don't, and maybe pull off something pretty clean. He's going to need to. They've lost their smoke. Levy has been eliminated. The first pick goes in favor of Furia. And the fact that there's a smoke on a hookah defense, huge.
Lagonis just looks like he's going out after trouble here. He's sort of this way and that way. There's the big magazine. He's just desperate to be thrown into an engagement. But Furia, in their typical fashion, they do like to make sure that they tick off every job on the checklist, and well, one of those jobs was going to be getting rid of that deployable shield, which was done relatively easily. Alamau just got caught lacking there. I'm not sure if he was in a camera or not, but he wasn't able to shoot the Rotero drone before it was detonated. As such, the shield has fallen. It hasn't immediately led to a push in or any pressure inside of Hookah, but it's always step number one in a much larger process.
Gomez is ready with Molotovs and will fire them out. Tries to delay Miracle just a little bit, hides that double window, a great position to play in. Essentially stops anyone going for a swing, and oh, the Molotovs doesn't connect Ollie. Molotovs just are not good in that scenario. The fire will not reach as big as what a Toxic Babe would, and wow, somehow Lagonas wins that engagement against Heist, but it's all for naught though. He gets traded out, and this is where Furia can completely back off from the objective and just sit on the Aqua Repel and just really wait for Team 1 to sweat it out. Alamau tries to rotate over. Neskin, that's a great kill though onto Twitch, but neither of them are in good positions. I say that Neskin finds another. Rare has slipped in to Hookah, and now he can deny that cool vibe rotate, which is exactly where both of them are going in, and Ollie, I don't think they have enough time. Rare should pick up an easy two-piece, and he will do that. The rotations, the positioning, Team 1 tried their best to try and salvage that one, Ollie, but the man advantage, the plant location was just too good from Furia.
Rare has literally just broken both of their ankles. Like, that small rotation, going from the rotation hole into the doorway, absolutely huge, because all of a sudden the call out is rotation hole, and he's not there. He's in the doorway, because he's got legs and he can move. Such a small little play. Even then, time would have been short. You know, it really didn't come down to that at all. But just little edges like that, it's just something that I really, really do love to see. You see there, Alamau is immediately pre-firing onto the rotation, and well, Rare, he's already got his chips and he's dipped. He's already inside of the doorway. A great round there from Furia, one that nearly slipped away from them, and it was fortunate that they were able to get the plant down where they did, to mean that the players downstairs had to rotate. They had to go chasing those kills, and it's again the benefit of really splitting up and scattering once that plant has gone down. As long as you're in a position to watch the plant, you are still doing a job, and Neskin getting taken out there on the rappel was... sorry, Neskin grabbing that kill out on the rappel onto, I believe it was Highs, I think it might have been outside on the rappel on Aqua. You know, it was a great job, but it didn't really matter. It took up too much time in the whole process of things. As such, Furia now lead by 2 rounds, 1 round away from a match point, and well, with the way that they've been attacking so far, Demo, they've looked terrifying.
They have done, and they have a bit of momentum behind them. Both these teams have played fairly good Coastline as of late. You know, historic map for both of them in terms of what they did at the major, and just how much they proved to everyone just how good both sides are and to be considered real threats in international competitions. But right now, Furia on attacks just seem to be putting it into high gear. Speaking of Highs is looking to push in towards that Sunrise and establish a firm control, and that's kind of where they'll stem their beachhead from. It cuts off any rotation in towards cool vibes. I think Furia are just trying to go around and eliminate as much utility as they can. Also looking to go above, just scattered all over the place. Furia more than likely will try and commit to one kitchen take, I imagine. Whenever they have so much utility in their back pocket, they have nades, they have Sophia, they have the Flores drones. Any shields that may be placed, anyone who wants to play on close reinforcements, the Flores drones as stuns, they will eliminate that with ease.
KDS holding on to a very narrow vertical angle there. Highs is going to make his way in through Hookah. Levy's been chunked down and retreated back onto the site. There's a lot of work that needs to be done here by Furia, and about the halfway point in the round, they should be in position enough to at least start checking a few of these things off the list, and it's going to kick off there with a kill onto Highs. Sorry, a kill from Highs onto KDS as he takes him down with a nade, really getting the most out of those grenades and making them land, taking full advantage of that Jaeger ban and the reluctance to play Wamai on the side of Team 1. Fancy at the bottom of security is able to look into service as well. really cut off those two sites. High is desperate to get involved upstairs, but Neskin is going to stand in his way here, but he needs to get in there to be able to start opening up that vertical and working the hammer.
There will be roamers above, and the roamers are starting to work, and Eyes goes down. The sledge is out of commission, so no vertical game will be applied by Furia in this round. Another trade comes out, and Lenda's just slipped right in for the rotation, all being assisted by Diana Ligones, has somehow stripped away in towards reception, but he himself gets eliminated, and now all pressure is going to be on Neskin. He was a savior for them against Cyclops at the Mexico Major. Can he be a savior for them on Coastline? He sees the diffuse carrier. Sprays a few bullets, but Rare is covering with the flashbangs. Diffuser will go down successfully. Neskin not in a position to stop it. Now 1 versus 2. Oh, what a shot! Rare is gone. This'll be for the ace, but no, Lenda ruins the fun. So close for Neskin, but not close enough.
That one really hurts to watch if you're a Team 1 fan. 1 kill away from an ace, 1 kill away for salvaging the round, but I think the very fact that that would have been an ace for Neskin is probably one of the biggest problems inside of that round as a whole. Sure, it came down to a 1v1, but it's one guy that is carrying the entire load there. And Neskin, it was just a little bit of a bridge too far for him to complete. Match point now for Furia as they look to kick off stage 3 with a clean win here. They've guaranteed themselves at least 1 point, and Team 1 are on the back foot from here on out. They have to fight back against this match point for the next 3 rounds if they are to hope to come away with anything here today.
Okay. Moving in to potentially the final round of Coastline. Did you expect this game to be this, like, close but then one-sided? Because I didn't. I after the first kind of half, I was expecting, again, just a bloodbath. Just bleeding everywhere. Nobody stayed in the lead for a long period of time. Just all over the show. But Furia, all credit to them, have really muscled up during this attacking half.
Furia are a great side. They've made it out of playoffs in the last 2 big events that they've been to, and they've done that for a reason. They've proved themselves internationally, and they can do it inside of the home region as well. Like, honestly, with the way that we saw Team 1 playing yesterday, I was quietly confident for Furia in terms of how they would come out and perform. Yeah, it's because I'm a little bit biased. It's because they're my team, but still, it's one of those things where you just think, you know, you've got to give them the benefit of the doubt here, and Team 1 didn't play great yesterday.
Team 1 have the easy of games against W7M. Still pulled off a victory for themselves, but probably would have thought that it would have been an easy 3 points, but was not the case. Neskin opens up onto Fantasy. That's a lot better from Team 1. They have an opening kill, and usually with how this game has went so far, it has been Furia in the driving seat for a lot of these rounds in their attacks, but for the first time, a little bit stunned. They're not entirely sure what they do now without Fantasy, who's had a great game. The top kill lead for Furia. He's off the table. And the other 4 have to try and pick up the pieces. Rare will start things off with a kill onto KDS. Goes back. All square. 4-4.
Shuts down one of the C4s as well from the side of Team 1 as something else that they're not going to be able to roll with. Miracle takes down Alamau, and it seems as though the chips are starting to fall here. Furia commanding advantage. The work will start to be going in onto that wall as Ligonis desperately trying to battle back along with Neskin, but Ligonis goes for the peek first. Neskin wasn't in position, and Highs is gifted a double. They're peeking 1 at a time. It's easy pickings. Levy, how many times have we seen him be the clutch master today? Is he going to be able to do it this time? The answer is no. Lender, he grabs that final kill, and Furia, well, they make light work of Team 1 here on Coastline.
Wow, what an attacking performance from Furia. What a way to start things off on their campaign this split. beating one of their big rivals. If not, I would say Team One and Furia is a massive rivalry. Obviously, we still have another big rivalry coming tonight, but I would say Furia and Team One is as close as it gets to two teams with similar backstories, similar playstyles, and similar players. I'm telling you, Ollie, what a game to kick things off for Furia. Really, really impressive stuff for them.
Yeah, Fury have come out with one thing on their mind, I think, and that was to come away with the win today. It really was. It was a bloodbath. You know, a 7-3, especially when you start off on the defense on Coast, is very impressive indeed. And it wasn't even a game that, you know, sure, we got a couple of close rounds here and there, but overall, the overall feeling there is that we deserve the scoreline that we saw between those two teams.
Yeah, I think it was a great game. I think the first half just showed how close they are, but Furia, you give all credit to them. The coastline attacks that they didn't do anything too crazy. I thought it was very simple, classic coastline attacks that we expect day in, day out. And to be fair, I would say maybe teams like NIP and Liquid need to go and look at how maybe some of those rounds played out for Furia, because Furia, they've cracked the coastline code. They've cracked it.
Quite possibly. Chunks, get yourself back in here. Let's have a further discussion. Maybe get a conversation with Twister going. He is going to be our chosen interviewee.
Yeah, it was a super impressive game coming out there from Fury. I think they were the underdogs for the majority of people after Team One's Mexico major win. But Fury is showing that it's not all about Team One, that even the teams that are a bit lower down the standings can still put out a big game, Demo.
Yeah, again, I think I agree with Ollie in terms of Furia. They're a team that you have to put up there in contention with everyone else in the league. You know, I would never really... Sure, maybe if you get to international events and you would maybe definitely consider them underdogs. And I think they were for the most part during their time at Mexico. But in their own region, there's a reason why they got to the major. There's a reason why they were considered top 4 in their region. And it's for that exact thing that we've just witnessed them do against Team One.
Yeah, absolutely. They are just fragging out right now. What a way to start off as well, because that is their first game of the stage, Ollie. And some really impressive performance. You got to think back to the huge clutch coming out there from I believe it was, I forget which player it was, in round 8, where there was one player left, 2 players from Team One trying their best to move through to get the post plant dealt with, but that one player just holding the staircase watches the angle and clutches up. It was absolutely huge. Let's ask about it though, because from Team Furia, we do currently have a player here to have a little chat with how things ended up going. So, Twister, after that game, how are you feeling? It's got to be good to start off your stage like that.
Hello, first of all, good night for everyone. I'm pretty happy about this win. It was a must-needed win, and we got it playing the way that we know that's the right way to play Siege.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely worked extremely well. One thing that I saw towards the end had to be the fact that it almost felt like on attack, you were surrounding, you were making a lot of noise, you were forcing Team One to burn through a lot of that utility early. Do you think that made it a lot easier to actually get in, find an opening, and win the round? Or was it more for gathering info and figuring out where those Team One players were?
This time, we focused on a more alive kind of game. We were improving and trying to adapt some stuff during the mid-round. We had so much participation from all the players of the team today, and everyone in some point got some calls, some play, or did something in the round that helped us to win that. So that's why I believe that we won this game, because we won as a team.
I think the team looked really good today, Twister, and you can see that contribution coming in from multiple different people. Something that you guys did that not a lot of teams so far on Coastline have been able to do is you guys made the Penthouse and Theatre site work for you on the defense. It's a site that's obviously recently been changed. Everybody, well, most other teams that we've seen defend it haven't been successful there, but it's one that you guys have got a good understanding of. Do you want to talk us through a couple of the things that you really like about it since the change?
I believe that that wall that they put in the VIP really helped the defense, because now you don't have just a window where you have to put a castle or something, and even with that, a sledge could easily break that thing. So that two walls over there helped the bomb sites to be a little bit stronger, and you can use that for sure in your coastline. I believe this bomb site will become meta, because this is the most important thing that changes. About the two walls, you got a VIP stronger, and with the VIP stronger, you have a chance to defend that bomb way better than was before.
Yeah, I do have a bit of a question here to how you actually approach the game coming into it, because obviously Team 1, they won the Mexico Major. Did that almost help you to a certain extent, where you had a lot more VODs to review? You could go and read those strategies and maybe prepare a little bit harder for Team 1 than you maybe would for a standard match?
For sure, our staff worked a lot to prepare everything for the team and give them all the preparation and all the information that they could have. We scrimmaged on a different way this week. We tried a little bit of the game just like it was in this game. All the players participating, all the players giving information, all the players trying to push some calls and make everything be prepared for this match. And we were so we were trying to beat Team One for a while, so this is very good, very good.
Yeah, I bet it feels good to come out on top. Congratulations again, Twister. I can't wait to see how you guys play for the rest of the stage.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to all of you and all of the Furia fans that cheer for us for sure. Thanks everyone.
Thanks again for joining us. That is yet another match down. Still one more to go, though, in just a couple minutes. We're going to be taking a short break, so don't go anywhere, because it's some big, heavy hitters. It's going to be an exciting one.